Hi, it's Heather from Cafe StepMom, and welcome to Day 18 of 31 Days of Life in the StepMom Trenches. You might be wondering why I'm wearing my little green puffer vest in the house and vlogging. Well, I'm vlogging about it today, so that's why I'm wearing it. It's my little prop. Anyway, yesterday I posted a picture of my vest. It was the first time I put it on this season, and I thought of something my husband said the first time he saw me in it, which was he called me Marty McFly. And I kind of laughed because I didn't really know what to make of it. Two things about me. I love the color green. I wear it a lot. And I love fall and winter. I love the comfy clothes. I love the coldness. But I love being warm. Anyway, and I love Back to the Future. I adore Michael J. Fox as an actor, as a human, and I had to laugh when my husband called me Marty McFly. So every time I wear my vest, I think of Marty McFly. And when I think of that, I think of Back to the Future. And I'm going to be honest with you, Back to the Future, I sometimes think, boy, if I could go back in time, would I marry my husband? Would I bring 4 kids into a blended family? Would I marry a man with 2 girls, 2 kids? And honestly, sometimes I think, oh, I wish we would have met in college. We would have got married first. But then as soon as I start to think that, I think, no. Because if I hadn't married my ex-husband, I wouldn't have my 4 kids. And I can't imagine my life without them. And I'm actually grateful that my husband married his ex, because he wouldn't have his 2 girls if it wasn't for her. I do believe that God has a plan, and he has a way of working things out when tough things happen to us. And I do believe that he brought us together for a reason. And sometimes then I think, oh, I wish we would have met when we were 50 and the kids are grown and we could travel and cook together and just really just enjoy and focus on each other. But if that were the case, our kids wouldn't have grown up together. They wouldn't have that typical sibling bonding, fighting, memory creating that's going on right now. And it's interesting with kids because you hear the step word a lot with parents, especially when the kids introduce us with people they don't, that we haven't met before. But when it comes to siblings, it's just, this is my brother, this is my sister. The step word is really thrown out. So I think about the question, if I could go back in time. And my first reaction sometimes is like, wow, I wish it would have been this way, I wish it would have been this way. But I know it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And it doesn't mean that it's easy every day, and it doesn't mean that, we don't have struggles. But I wouldn't want to walk this journey with anybody else than my husband. And I think it's okay to ask ourselves that question, but I think especially if we're in a lower place, to dwell on that and to think, well, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? Isn't going to serve you well. You are in the here and now today. This is your life. This is where you are. And we need to focus on today and the future and not go back in time and think about what if or what could have been. I think one of the most dangerous things that we do is compare ourselves to other people. And, this can happen anywhere, especially with women, like at the PTA, at church, and we look around and we say, oh, she's got the perfect life, or she just has it so together. I'm not God, you know what I mean? And I'm not here to judge people or to assume anything. But I'm pretty sure that if you're breathing, you have a burden. And a lot of people just don't advertise it. They don't just say, hey, I'm Heather, this is my problem. But we all struggle with things. We all have burdens. And so to look around and to see other people and think, well, if I had her life, or if I had this husband, or I had these kids, my life would be different. We all have things. And I remember one time too, and I'm diverging a little bit, I heard our pastor's wife speak. And she said something, she said, if all of us could take our burdens and just dump them in the middle of this room, and we could all see what everybody else is struggling with, I'm pretty sure that most of us would go into that pile and pick our own burdens back out. Sometimes when we're just focused on what we're struggling with, we don't think about all the other tough stuff that other people are going through. And I think about that sometimes when I start to have a self-pity party or think about things that are tough. I think about that. And I pray and I rely on my faith. And so I totally am getting off topic. But my takeaway for today is just to really be grateful for what you do have. And if you have those thoughts where you think about what if or what then, try and replace them with what you have now. Focus on today. Focus on the future. And until tomorrow, stepmoms, stay strong and press on. And go get yourself a puffer vest. Thanks.